Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds, and this next Let's Chat is going to be a different format, an audio format. So let's see how this goes. So this particular one will be about building your own computer for gaming or buying a pre-built. Now this relates to gaming. This is what I did. A year and a half ago, because of the availability of hardware parts and the cost of the hardware parts, I went ahead and bought an Alienware system. It had an AMD 3700X in it and the 3080 into it, which I overclocked a little bit, put a bit more memory into it, put a Western Digital Black M2 drive into it. So I kind of made it my own. A couple other drives I put into it as well. So it really, honestly surprised me. It's been fantastic for the last, ever since I've had it, and I've played every game on it. I have a 2K display, no problem with any of it. Ray tracing, no problem at all, which was good. And the one that I got was a 1,000-watt power supply, and it was also water cooled. If you get a pre-built system, spend a bit extra and get liquid cooling for sure. Get it on the CPU, because that's what I did. Alienware systems in particular, they don't have enough fans in the system, and it's all jam-packed together for the most part. And you know what I do? I actually have the case open. I have no extra fan blowing air in, but I have the case open. I have an air compressor, and I blow it out from time to time. So there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't look great, right? If you have it on top of your desk and you're fussy about the way it looks, and that's not good. I have it actually on the floor, which is the best place for it, to be honest, because down there it's cooler than on your desk. So that's what I did. That's not exactly saying that you should do the same thing, but you have to look at it. What hardware parts are available? Are all the hardware parts out there that you want to build for your particular system? Are all those parts going to, work together and hopefully not have too many bottlenecks? What do you do if a part is not available? You go to another part and then you might have an issue, right? So you have to figure all that out. And with the builds that you can do online now to pick the, part pickers and stuff, you can figure that out rather quickly and easily, but availability is still an issue. Video cards are still extremely expensive, but back when I bought it, it wasn't. And I got some great deals from Dell and also Rakuten. I think I got $300 back from Rakuten. I think it was 10% or more than that. Rakuten was giving back on the purchase. So I got, I couldn't believe it. So along with the deal that they had and what I got back from Rakuten is just like a site where they give you percentage off things you buy online. It could be Best Buy, Dell, Lenovo, or wherever, online. If they have a deal at a time, you can install it and it'll pop up and you can activate it. And I do it with everything that I buy online, like even if it's a few cents, because at the end of the year, it might add to up to $20. It might add to up to, $1,000. I'll put the link down below, by the way, if you want to check it out, if you don't know about Rakuten. Also, when you buy it is also important, because if you buy it Black Friday, for example, or Boxing Day, or somewhere around that, or, times of year where they have super specials and super deals, then that's a great time to buy. Sometimes you can get $1,000 off a computer system, right? Remember back in the day when you could build a system that would be, so much faster than a pre-built, and it would be cheaper. But now you've gotten away from that, where your pre-builts are, maybe cheaper than the one that you would build. Now, this, of course, depends on the hardware and all the rest of it. But I clearly remember back in the day, I could never, ever fathom buying a pre-built system, because they were like total crap. And you'll get hardware reviewers out there now, and some of the big guys, and they will say that pre-builts are absolute junk. Well, they're not. At least from my experience buying this particular system, it hasn't been. And who knows? I mean, it could fail at any time, but anything could fail at any time. And listen, how long do you want to keep your system? Do you want to keep your system for 20 years? No. Maybe 2, 3 years, 4 years? So, you got to figure that out too, right? You got to factor that into the whole equation of it. So there's a lot of things to consider when you are thinking about a pre-built versus building your own. And maybe you might get, better overclocking. For sure you will. Maybe you'll get an extra 5 or 10 frames per second. Yeah, okay. If that stuff is the stuff that keeps you up at night, then absolutely, right? And if you have the funds, go ahead, spend a ton of money and put your blood, sweat, and tears into building a computer system, because, man, I've built hundreds of computer systems, and I help my friends out all the time build theirs. For me, it's a cakewalk. But, maybe it's truly not the smartest thing to do overall for most people who just want to get a system and get gaming. That's what it's about, right? Gaming, ultimately. You want to get a computer system that, you can pretty much order online and get it in a few weeks or a month and get up and get going. And that's something else that's changed over the years. I used to build them for another, reason. You could just, go there, go in a store, an hour, you're in there, get the stuff, come home, build it another hour. You'd be up. You'd be up so much faster, but that's all changed today. It's all completely different today than it used to be in that respect. Because if you're looking for hardware now, it's extremely difficult to find all the parts. I mean, how many of us, for example, go ahead and go online and pick parts and then try to get them? Like, it's usually what you have to do is substitute. You're always substituting parts, right? For what I want this, but I got to settle for this because, well, you could wait, but then you're waiting and waiting and waiting when you could have already had the computer system, like, for example, bought a pre-built. So I get both sides of it. I get the fact that some, absolutely completely against pre-builts. I get that. But there also is another side of it where you can buy a system and get up and get going and get to it as quickly as possible. That's kind of my take on it. The system that I have, I've played a lot of the Assassin's Creed series. I've spent 100 hours in a lot of those. Mad Max, I'm playing all the games at 2K with the 3080. All the eye candy on, like everything. And I'm the type where I need to have a game playing at a certain resolution and have all the eye candy on. And if I don't, kind of feel like I'm missing something. I kind of feel like the producers produced this game to be seen at maximum. I don't see the point of playing a game where you can't play it with everything maxed out. Let me know what you guys think of this, whole debate about pre-builts versus building your own. Remember, if you like this content, to subscribe and share the video. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.